somewhere there was a guy, an engineer, who knew exactly how many rivets went into the Golden Gate Bridge. And he knew also that every single one of them, this little 3-cent part, was important to the integrity of the whole structure. Without it, no bridge. And, you know, people should take, I think, an attitude similar to that. We can't all sit down and write huge checks. I don't resent the people that can. I bless them. I praise them for it. I think they're wonderful folks. But at the same time, those of us who can do a little bit less should, because we might be the rivet. "12 years ago or so, we were church shopping, as it were, and we'd been attending a different church in Boca Raton, and had tried a couple of other things. And I suggested, and I blame myself, I suggested we try St. Gregory's. Main reason is I had no idea what an Episcopal church was. I had not a clue. I was born and raised a Lutheran, and the Episcopal Church, the way St. Gregory's did it, was very much the way we used to do Lutheran back when I was a boy. And of course, they changed it, so now they march down the aisle with tamarines and stuff. So what can you say? Anyway, we tried it one morning. I got a strong feeling that this was a very, very good place to be. And I guess we just kind of stuck.
Just that we felt very welcome from day one. You know, it is a very welcoming place. Different people welcomed us and then seemed to remember us when we came back. And now we don't let them forget us.
I come out of a background in broadcasting and in technology. And as a result, I've been able to keep what passes for a PA system that's built into the church working for about the last 12 years, which is pretty close to 12 years longer than it had any right to expect to be alive. And it's been a fascinating struggle, particularly when you're doing this with no budget money, and there just isn't any for that purpose. And it's understandable because, you know, if we're going to be building a new facility, you want to dedicate your resources where they're going to do the most for the longest period of time. Rebecca's been involved in somewhat more human aspects of it, because when you're dealing with the technology, you're usually by yourself and nobody else around to harass or annoy.
For my point, I can say ECW because I've been active in ECW. You know, it's mainly fundraising, a lot of fundraising, but then you figure out how to give the money away. And it's been kind of inspirational in some ways to be able to work with this scholarship that we started 3 years ago now, and you know, give one of our young, well, women. It could be a young woman. It doesn't have to be some money to help them in their education. Could be college, could be some other kind of aspiration that they have. And I'm looking to be more involved in the future now that we're going to be in Florida full time rather than splitting our time. I'm also working with the gardeners, and I love doing the gardening too, but gardening and just trying to keep the grounds beautiful. Yeah, being in the gardening group is a great opportunity to be a representative of the church. Just during the week in our dirty clothes, for example, because people walk past the church, walking their children, walking their dogs. They walk through their dogs through the courtyard at the back of the church, and they often will stop and talk. Almost always say hello for sure, and it's a good way of talking to different people who may be unchurched, or maybe looking for a new church, and we have a chance to, to be a good, friendly representation of the church. It's important.
Why did we consider a gift to the church? I guess because a good part of our personal thinking as a married couple and friends for years is you have a responsibility to give something back. And I realized that the gift that we're giving is not the size of some of the other gifts, but its importance to us is, I think, just as large as anybody's. And when I say importance to us, I mean us in the congregational sense. In other words, in the sense of the whole church, as opposed to just Rebecca and myself, me. I don't know. Do you have any comments, my dear?
Well, the church gives so much to the community. It's not just the congregation that is going to benefit from having a building that is perhaps more accessible to others. Just the fact that there are so many homeless in that part of the world, part of our town, and they come respectfully and humbly, I do believe, looking for help. And the fact that we have a place where they can sit and relax, feel safe, is important. Well, we were looking at our current income, first of all, and that had a lot to do with it. So we were thinking about, giving an amount over a number of years, anyhow, just from our current income. But then when we made the decision to sell a piece of property we have, it changed things. But we still kind of like the idea of giving it over time. And unless something changes, that seems to work for us. And I hope it'll work for the church.
It would not be fair to suggest people simply ignore the COVID crisis, push it behind them and move ahead. We all have a responsibility to each other, and that responsibility will continue for a while. But I do think this, and I believe it very strongly, that when plans like we're going through now at St. Gregory's come up, I think we hit a dichotomy that can be troubling for people. And that's this. And I believe strongly that if Jesus walked through the door today at St. Gregory's, he'd tell us, sell it, give the money to feed the poor. The whole idea here is it's okay to do something for yourself, in this case for us as a congregation, because it brings us, I think, closer to each other, and that bringing together to each other is bringing us to God. And that's why we got the sign out in front.
I think the future of St. Gregory's is our younger families and our children. And I'm so excited that plans are being made for the youth to have a designated place rather than something that's just kind of left over. Sometimes that happens where they get the leftovers, and any church has to depend on the younger families and the youth to keep it going.
When you're sitting in the pew, you're not a Democrat, you're not a Republican, not a Libertarian. You're another Christian worshiping. You're part of a community of people who are there to both praise and serve God. And that, I think, gives us a sense of grounding, where we're more, I guess, in touch with the reality of life as opposed to the superficial trappings of life. the campaign itself, of course, is an opportunity for people of all different stripes, levels of belief, backgrounds, financial success or not so successful, and people who like to go to church early, people who don't like to go to church until later on. Everybody gets together, grabs a chunk of rope and starts pulling. And we're all hopefully pulling in the same direction.